ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले वेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते। सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 6 चैप्टर 16 वर्स 42। अक्षेमो निज परयोः यान्वार्तः स्वपरद्रुहात् कर्मेण स्वद्रोहा तव कोपः परसंपीडया च तथा धर्मः। How can a religious system that produces envy of oneself and of others be beneficial for oneself and for them? How can a religious system that produces envy of oneself and of others be beneficial for oneself and for them? What is auspicious about following such a system? What is actually to be gained? By causing pain to one's own self due to self envy, and by causing pain to others. 1 hour, oh, we did this 1 hour this year. Yeah. न व्यभिचरति तवेक्षाया ह्यभिहितो भागवतो धर्मः चिरचरसत्त्वकदम्बेषु पृथग् धियोऽयम् उपासते पार्याः. My dear Lord, one's occupational duty is instructed in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita according to your point of view, which never deviates from the highest goal of life. Very important. Those who follow their occupational duties under your supervision, being equal to all living entities, moving and non-moving, not considering high and low, are called Aryans. Such Aryans worship you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavata Dharma and Krishna Katha are identical. Very, very nice. Bhagavata Dharma and Krishna Katha are identical. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to become a guru and preach the instructions of Krishna everywhere, from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, the Puranas, Vedanta Sutra, similar Vedic literature. Aryans who are advanced in civilization follow Bhagavata Dharma. Prahlad Maharaja, although merely a child of 5 years, recommended Kaumara Acharet Pragno Dharman Bhagavataniha. Dharman Bhagavatan. Dharma. Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapya Adruvam Artadam. Prahlad Maharaj preached Bhagavata Dharma among his classmates as soon as an opportunity was afforded by the absence of his teachers from the classroom. He said that from the very beginning of life, from the age of 5, children should be instructed about Bhagavata Dharma, because the human form of life, which is very rarely obtained, is meant for understanding this subject. What does Bhagavata Dharma mean? Bhagavata Dharma means living according to the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, we find that Supreme Lord has arranged human society in 4 social divisions, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Again, the Puranas and other Vedic literatures have set forth 4 ashramas, which are divisions of spiritual life. So one is social division, the other is spiritual division, meaning this is for material, taking care of material responsibilities, what needs to be done, and this is for taking care of spiritual responsibilities. Therefore, Bhagavata Dharma means the Varnashrama Dharma of the 4 social and 4 spiritual divisions. Now, see, Prabhupada is so clearly saying that Bhagavata Dharma means Varnashrama Dharma, and he just said here previously, saying that Aryans who are advanced in civilization follow Bhagavata Dharma. Prahlad Maharaja recommended our Bhagavata Dharma, which means the devotees have to follow Bhagavata Dharma. Correct? And Bhagavata Dharma means Varnashrama Dharma. The members of human society who strictly follow the principles of Bhagavata Dharma and live according to the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are called Aryans. A civilization of Aryans who strictly follow the instructions of the Lord and never deviate from those instructions is perfect. So living as per the principles of Bhagavata Dharma is perfect and strictly following the instructions. Such civilized men do not discriminate between trees, animals, human beings, and other living entities. Pandita Samadarshinaha. Because they're completely educated in Krishna consciousness, they see all living beings equally. So many things Prabhupada is saying here. So first is that, this civilization of Aryans, Anarya Justam Asvargyam, Akirtikaram Arjuna. So Krishna chastises Arjuna, saying you are become like an Anarya, like a non-Aryan. Meaning, if you don't strictly follow the instructions of the Lord, and if you don't follow the principles, which means if you don't follow the principles of Bhagavata Dharma, then we become Anarya. Now, for some reason in ISKCON, there is not much serious attention given to this statement of Varnashrama Dharma. We are thinking that we can just do bhakti. Yes, of course, we can do bhakti. But what about our vritti? What about our livelihood, the means of our livelihood? So here in the verse, it says, one's occupational duty is instructed in Srimad Bhagavatam. What does Srimad Bhagavatam instruct about occupational duty? Um, धर्मस्वनुष्ठित पुंसान विश्वक्सेन कथासु यः न उत्पादेद यति रथिम शम एव हि केवलम. धर्मस्वनुष्ठित पुंसः means for human beings. Swadharma. What is Swadharma? Vishwaksena katasu yaha na utpader yadi ratim. Ratim means attraction. Hmm. Attraction for Vishwaksena katasu, meaning Krishna katha. If our occupation doesn't allow us to become attracted to Krishna katha, shama eva hi kevalam. It's a waste of time. Correct? So now, why then is this vritti dharma as per varnashrama so important? Why is this varnashrama dharma important? Because in varnashrama dharma, irrespective of what occupation you are taking, the focus is on Krishna. Which means that this kind of varnashrama communities, if we are living in this kind of varnashrama communities, the focus is on Krishna consciousness. If we are living in city and doing some kind of a job, then the focus it's very difficult. We know, right? Many of you are working, and you know how difficult it is to even get the time to study Shastra. So if we don't have time at all to study, how can we develop attraction to the message of Krishna? Srila Prabhupada said, morning program, chanting Hare Krishna, reading Prabhupada is mandatory for everybody. I was talking to a devotee who was saying that I do reading alternate days. That's not okay. Please don't settle with things like this. We are not going to make progress. Right? If we want to make progress, we have to keep reading every day and hammering ourselves, or let Prabhupada hammer us every day. Right? So, to be able to do this, to be able to do a decent sadhana, we need a favorable occupation. A favorable occupation. And living and working in cities is not favorable. And it is not favorable. So, yeah, making the best use of the bad bargain. That's what they say. It's so, as far as possible, don't overwork. Don't work more than required. They're working with one devotee on some Kannada translation, and the devotee is very, very capable. But somehow he is not able to find time for the translation service. Then I was generally asking him, saying that, Prabhu, what is your schedule, etc. Worked in DRDO. So then he was saying, Prabhu, 8 hours. But then I was saying, then why are you working so much? And he goes early to office 8:30. And, so ideally 4:30, 5:30, you should be done. Why are you working so much? Not required, but we just become used to it. So then he was saying, no, no, Prabhu, from now on, I will just work 8 hours and come. We will sit on this service. And I'm seeing that devotees have to go out and do book distribution. Devotees don't have time. They don't have time in the morning. They don't have time in the evening. So which is why book distribution has become very lukewarm effort in ISKCON now. Only full timers are doing. Of course, I mean, many of our devotees are doing. No, hats off to them, right? But especially those working in software companies, they're struggling, and we should understand that this is not good. This is not. This is okay once in a while, or at least the other way around, right? Once in a while, we should be able to pull ourselves out. At least Kartik, November, December, October, November, December. We should pull ourselves out. But of course, that's not possible because you don't have control over your schedules and projects and all. Which is why this Varnashrama, without Varnashrama Dharma, the vritti will not be favorable to Krishna consciousness. Then we cannot follow what is being said here, strictly following instructions. Yeah, instructions, following instructions of Lord and his devotees means Prabhupada is saying, go distribute books in Mara during December. Why only December? Throughout the year, but at least during December. So without following Varnashrama Dharma, following these things are very, very difficult, becomes very difficult. And Prabhupada is saying if somebody actually follows this, then what happens? He becomes a civilized man. And he comes to the stage of Pandita Samadarshinaha. If we follow this, strictly follow the instructions and never deviate from these instructions, you know, meaning giving more time for sadhana bhakti, doing it nicely, seriously. Obviously, we will come to Brahmabhuta stage very quickly. So these things are extremely interconnected. And somehow I can't understand the rationale, but many devotees feel that no, 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 this Varnashrama and all is too much. Kali Yuga is just about bhakti. Yeah, Kali Yuga is about practicing strictly and seriously bhakti. If there is a way to do it in city, yes, please go ahead. If not, then look for why Prabhupada established new Vrindavan. And today we have new Vrajadam in Hungary. There's so many new, I mean, world, the other countries also, other parts of the world also, there are farm communities. Why? To show people saying that, this is easy means of livelihood, right? And what is required to go on a farm? Just our uh, first thing is faith. Mm, we don't have faith in Krishna. We don't have faith that Krishna can take care of us for the rest of our life. We think that we only have to earn and take care of ourselves. Mm. So this is a challenge. Mm. We have to have trust in Krishna. It is Krishna's system, and Krishna will take care of things. So and this is very important because otherwise it's tough to make progress. If you're just focused on economic development only, then Krishna consciousness will take a back seat, whether you like it or not. It's not that devotees are doing it intentionally. They are sincere, serious. They want to make progress, but the current environment they're in is not conducive. See, if we strictly do all that, we should come to Brahmabhuta. That's what Prabhupada is. Aryans do not kill even a small plant unnecessarily, not to speak of cutting trees for sense gratification. The present moment throughout the world, killing is prominent. Men are killing trees, animals, and they're killing other human beings also, all for sense gratification. This is not Aryan civilization. As stated here, Sthirachara Sattva Kadambeshu Apratak Diyaha. The word Apratak Diyaha indicates that Aryans do not distinguish between lower and higher grades. All life should be protected. All living beings have a right to live, even the trees and plants. This is a basic principle of our Aryan civilization. So which means, see, if as devotees come forward to set up these kind of communities, and if we can attract the rest of the society, then the society will become Aryan. Then this desire being expressed that all life should be protected can be achieved. If the society becomes uh, uh, lives the Aryan lifestyle, if not, at least we cannot say that everybody should become a devotee because it's not practically possible. At least their way of life should be as per Vedic culture. Apart from the lower living entities, those who have come to the platform, human civilization should be divided. See, should be divided into those Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, which it is, whether we like it or not. Those who are good in their professions are working according to their guna, quality. Then they will fall under one of these. Of course, Kaliga mostly is Sudras and Vaishyas, right? Very less Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. The Brahmana should follow the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as stated in Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures. The criteria must be guna and karma. In other words, one should acquire the qualities of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra and act accordingly. This is the civilization accepted by the Aryans. Why do they accept it? They accept it because they are very much eager to satisfy perfect civilization. Need more proof than this that Varnashrama Dharma is important. Aryans do not deviate from the instructions of Krishna, nor do they have doubts about Krishna. But non-Aryans and other demoniac people fail to follow the instructions of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. This is because they've been trained in sense gratification at the cost of all other living entities. Nonam pramatta kurute vikarma yad indriya pritaya ap. Prahlad Maharaj is saying. Their only business is to indulge in all kinds of forbidden activities for sense gratification. They deviate in this way because they want to gratify their senses. They have no other occupation or ambition. They have no other ambition. Their method of civilization is condemned in the previous. The meaning of a civilization that kills oneself and others. Mm. Mm. Where Ishopan also says it is Atmaha. Atmaha means pillar of the Atma. This verse therefore advises that everyone become a member of the Aryan civilization and accept the instructions of the Supreme Lord. One should conduct his social, political, and religious affairs according to his instructions. His instructions for social, political, religious affairs is Varnashrama Dharma. It is not bhakti. You have to understand this. Just by following bhakti, doing bhakti, but if we don't conduct our social, political, religious affairs according to Varnashrama, it's not Aryan. Yeah, it's okay. It's a sub-optimal situation to just practice bhakti without being in an Aryan civilization. And I've been to these farm communities and, at least in India, and they're so amazing. You can feel the Krishna conscious energy there. We are spreading the Krishna consciousness movement to try to establish a society the way that Krishna wants it. This is the meaning of Krishna consciousness. We are therefore presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is and kicking out all kinds of mental concoction. Fools and rascals interpret Bhagavad Gita in their own way. Krishna says, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage unto me. They comment that it is not Krishna to whom we must surrender. Thus they derive imaginary meanings from Bhagavad Gita. The consciousness movement, however, strictly follows Bhagavad Gita, instructions of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavad for the complete welfare of human society. One who misinterprets Bhagavad Gita, twisting out some meaning for his sense gratification, is a non-Aryan. Therefore, commentaries on Bhagavad Gita by such person should be completely rejected. One should try to follow Bhagavad Gita as it is. Krishna says, Yetu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyena eva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami cha na chirat partha maya veshita chetasam. Very nice. So sarvani karmani. So how should we work? So he should he should work in such a way that he can fix his mind on Krishna. Mam dhyayanta upasate. Hmm. Why sanyasya matparaha? Sanyasya, we have to offer whatever results of our work to Krishna. More importantly, we should be able to do Yayanta. And Krishna is saying, such people, Tesham Am Samudharta, Mrityu Samsara Sagarat. Nachirat. Very quickly, I will take them away from this Samsara Sagara. I will deliver them. Mm. But the important thing is meditating upon Krishna, fixing mind upon Krishna. Actually, I was struggling with this instruction for like many years. I used to ask so many devotees, saying that, Krishna is saying, always meditate on me, always fix your mind and intelligence on me. And I was saying, but I'm fixing mind and intelligence on, say, various material things. What should I do? How should I understand this? Right? And different devotees used to give different answers. One answer is yes, if you offer all your results to Krishna, then like Arjuna fought the battle of Kurukshetra for Krishna's pleasure, that is also fixing mind on Krishna, intelligence on Krishna. Also, I was not able to do. So it used to trouble me. For Prabhupada's purpose should trouble us, should trouble our mind, saying that, we are not able to follow. What should we do? How can we follow these instructions? Yeah. Otherwise, if you simply hear and just leave it, then what is the point in Prabhupada writing all these beautiful, amazing purports that which can change our life if you don't take them seriously? So somebody has asked me to speak about why should we read Prabhupada's books? Why should we distribute Prabhupada's books? It is simply if you want welfare, if you want your own welfare, you should read Prabhupada's books. But reading Prabhupada's books means understanding it as it is, not interpreting and taking it seriously. Hmm. So it's so clear. Prabhupada has a very, very clear devotee said, saying that if we read Prabhupada's books, then we fit into the mold of a devotee that Prabhupada wants us to become. Mold of a devotee. You know what is mold? Mold is a perfect shape. Like in South India for Sankranti, they do sakare attu. Like it's attu means mold. So when you put sugar solution into that mold, what comes out later actually is exactly as per the mold. The shape is exactly, shape, size, everything is exactly as per the mold. Means Prabhupada is, purport is actually the mold. And we have to try to fit into that mold, not fit the mold to us. We are reading and then we are saying, no, 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 this is not possible, that is not possible. Then for whom did Prabhupada write all this? See, just imagine it's just like a few years that Prabhupada gave us these books, right? About 50 years, right? And already we seem to be thinking that these books are not for us. And Prabhupada has said these books are the guiding light for next 10,000 years. So even at the end of now 500 years is over, and let's assume another at the end of 9,500 years also, these books will be relevant. If the books are relevant, then why are they not relevant today? So it's just our convenience. We are cheating ourselves by just not taking Prabhupada's words seriously. See, and we should understand one more thing. Prabhupada also said that these purports are my devotional ecstasy, spiritual ecstasy. Why? What is ecstasy here? Prabhupada is not talking about jumping up and down in Krishna consciousness, Astasatvika Vikar, like tears flowing from his eyes. He's not talking about all that. But he's saying, this is my spiritual ecstasy. Because if these things are followed, eventually devotees will come to the stage of shedding tears. And that's the success of his mission. So we should not take these things lightly. At least we want to try and think about these things. So uh, in my own thought process and preaching, this is a next goal. Next goal is to set up some kind of a farm community somewhere. I don't know where, but it should be such that it is accessible to people from Bangalore And we should take people from Bangalore and take them, you know, invite them over a weekend and show them what it is to live happily in the midst of, you know, just nature, right? And Krishna conscious environment. We should do that because so many and yeah, see, to nowadays anyway, people can do work from home, right? Mm. So one setup can be just work not in city, work outside. So what will you do? You don't have any other entertainment. You're not going to waste your time going to malls, going to do this, doing that, and all that. So then that's one option. And the other option is a pure play, no, no technology farm community, right? Where you can't just, where technology cannot steal your mind or steal your consciousness. It should be nature and Krishna. That's all. And nature means Krishna because that's what Vrindavan, isn't it? Gave us Vrindavan. Krishna wants us to live, get used to living in Vrindavan. Mm. And not today's Vrindavan. Like his Vrindavan. Today is all, you spoiled it. Mm. Krishna's Vrindavan, which is cows and forests and water and rivers and, you know, beautiful flowers and insects and birds chirping, animals making different kinds of sounds, living in nature, thinking always about Krishna, serving Krishna. This is Vrindavan. Mm. Including myself. I mean, a few years ago, I was thinking, saying that, no, how can we live in any other setup which is not modern, is not like city? Then I realized saying that, it's such a flawed thought process. And when I went to some of these farm communities for even like not not for long, but I just experienced. It is so amazing. So like-minded devotees have to come together and plan for these things in future. Anyway, so these things are important. At the same time, preaching has to go on, book distribution has to go on, life has to go on, bhakti has to go on, everything has to go on. Right? But eventually, we should come to the ideal setup, and once when we come to a mature state, we will be ready to accept these, and we should not let ourselves become conditioned by city life. So don't become conditioned. Think so. It's good once in a while to give up the comfort of the city life, and go and experience more natural habit. So that's good to think of. Any questions? Any thoughts? Anyway, I don't. We'll just discuss some. If anybody devotees have any thoughts. Yeah, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhuji,
Pranam.
this is very, very nice thing. And even my long-term desire is that I think I expressed also to you, right, sometime back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We definitely need this. Just wanted to remind you of that. You were saying something, right? That I used to wonder why Prabhupada has written so much, and I used to ask devotees. I think you just wanted to hear what did you finally realize?
No, I mean, basically that people are not wanting to take Prabhupada seriously, right? And somehow
Hmm.
because they don't want to come under these, they don't want to put themselves under this, having to follow all these things or even wanting to think about these things, right? But devotees don't even want to think about these things, so they just like, dismiss it off, saying that it's not practical. Now, if it was not practical, for
Yeah,
whom did Prabhupada write all this? Prabhupada used to tell his book
yeah,
distributors saying that
true.
first read the books before you distribute. Right? So, because Prabhupada said these books have been written for you. If you are not reading, if you are not
Yeah,
taking these books seriously, then what will we distribute first of all? What will we tell people? We'll tell people saying that take these books, but nothing is practical in this. Isn't that what the conclusion
yeah,
is?
true.
And it's so unfair. I mean, it's just a disservice, it's just lack of surrender to Prabhupada, I feel. Because, he's so clearly saying these things. Wow, we should understand, okay, I am not qualified. Okay, that's fine. But let me not just dismiss off the instructions, right? Let me keep those instructions in front of me, keep meditating, beg for mercy, and somehow hope that, that we can come to that platform of following these instructions. Otherwise, literally, see, if we say that in ISKCON, all of us are considering Srila Prabhupada as our um, first and most prominent Shiksha Guru, right? Now, when Shiksha Guru is giving instructions in Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavatam, and we seem to be just comfortably ignoring it. Isn't that Guru Ravagya?
Yeah, true.
So, how are we going to make
Yes,
progress?
it is.
So, literally, we are doing Nama Parada every time we read Prabhupada's books.
Mm.
But I don't think
Mm.
this mindset is there, right? And devotees don't think about it. So we have to, I mean, just disservice to Prabhupada's movement.
Yeah,
So we have to encourage,
yeah.
and we have to set
I
the example. We have to set, yeah,
Yeah, I think some devotees realize that, and there is a good number of people realizing that. But yes, I think taking endeavor is somewhat courageous effort, so people shy away from doing that. One thing I want to express my own feelings, Prabhu, that actually it is impractical to stay in city life. If
mm,
you seriously abide by what Prabhupada said, actually it is impractical to stay in city, because every
yeah,
day you have anxiety what is going to happen. There is no strategy after all from the top leadership in corporate today, right? Where we are going, okay, how this AI will basically eventually shape our businesses and all. So actually I see that all these hurdles and all these things are making people anxiety prone. So actually if you really use day, so we should try to assimilate this thing that maybe now Prabhupada's model is more practical. It is getting more practical day by day, since Kali Yuga is progressing, and we see that all this deterioration of personal time, as you said, that people in IT, they don't find time to read Prabhupada books. They are not
yeah,
having time to spend even on weekends now. So then how can we call this life as practical, right? This is impractical life. If we sincerely realize, maybe we are just taking the practical aspect of, okay, we have a house which we can buy using the remuneration we get, and then we are satisfied with that. But how much blood and how much toil we have to go through, is that practical? I think this is something which people should ponder upon, and try to see that maybe life can be led with a very simple thing, and yeah, find more time to do Krishna consciousness. But for that, the priority of Krishna consciousness and the varnashram especially, maybe it can be done without varnashram, which is not good,
mm,
which is not correct actually, because you will not be able to intensify your Krishna consciousness. So I think that is what my
mm. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, Vamshi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, can I add something to what Prabhu is mentioning, and then maybe can I ask my question?
Yeah.
So, Prabhu, I think that's very much like you mentioned, it's impractical. But what I am also observing is slowly and steadily, people are investing in farmlands as an investment, like how people are investing in stock markets, right? So they are investing in farmlands, which is completely outsourced, and people are taking care. Other people are taking care. And eventually, if you see even the outskirts, right, of Bangalore, it is actually further developing in a way that you have exclusively a villa and a farmhouse. That's it, in a farmland. And somehow I think that culture eventually is getting formed in a more like a westernized manner. It's like we're going back to square one, which was village life was the best, and now the city life is not so great, and hence eventually. there are multiple things. Like one is it's also causing depression, and people are required to slow down. And some of the advices, what's coming from even the physiotherapist, is go back to a calmer place and start reset yourself. So I guess people are also thinking in a westernized manner, and maybe what Prabhupada's mission is also of setting up farmlands will be much more favorable for all of us in coming days, is what I personally think. That was
Mm.
one point, Prabhu. And the other
Yeah, it
point
is
is,
interesting.
yeah. And another point is, Prabhu, I think you answered most of it when you were answering question of Prabhu. This month we are doing a lot of book distribution, right? And a lot of people, what we also see is they think it's not so relevant for me and I don't have time. While Prabhupada has mentioned that this is going to be applicable and relevant for next 10,000 years, how do we make it little more relatable to people when there is a lot of degradation in our lifestyles which is going to come in future, Prabhu? Like what should be our way of thinking to make it relevant and to make them understand that yes, we have to do this.
Yeah, I mean, which is what we are trying to tell people, saying that, are you happy? This is what the question is. If you're happy, then it's fine. Then you can do whatever you're doing, right? And we have to make them realize that they are not happy if they think that they are happy. And nowadays, I mean, I wherever I go, I ask this question, and inevitably, the answer is I'm not happy, right? You have tension in your life, people say yes. You know, are you satisfied with your living conditions? People say no. People have tons of problems, right? And we have to make them understand, saying that, see, Prabhupada's books are the solution for your problems, for which we should have read. We should take, I mean, the ideal way to distribute books is conversation. And unfortunately, many times, of course, our devotees are trying to do conversational book distribution, not just take Bhagavad Gita, it's good for you. That is useless book distribution. You can distribute lakhs of books, like it's been done in Karnataka, without converting anybody into a devotee. Talk to them. They take Prabhupada's books, identify sections in Prabhupada's books which are answering those questions. So you ask a question, open the book, show the answer. Saying that, see here, this is what Prabhupada is saying. Don't you think this is what's happening? And then and there, you can convince people, saying that, see, what you are experiencing is what Prabhupada has written in his books. What more do you want? But for that, we need to be prepared. People who go out to do book distribution have to be prepared. And again, that comes down to your time, right? So, but we can make people understand if we can, basis the books. If we can base our conversation with people on books. And see, if people are not wanting to talk to you, then it's fine. Then, yeah, we have to find innovative ways. We have to find, which is why Prabhupada said, see, for distributing a book, find innovative ways. Of course, we should not, like the other day, somebody was telling me, saying that there are some devotees. I think they are not from Bangalore. Every year they come during marathon to Bangalore. I think from Kanpur or something. They do zabardast, like forceful book distribution. They stop people driving. Driving cars, two wheelers. They stop them on the road, in the middle of the road, and distribute. I mean, of course, we need to have we need to be a little bit more prudent about our approach, right? If suppose it results in accident, something, why we want to risk these things? And tomorrow people will call it's called bad names, right? Saying that these people are irresponsible. These people. Just yesterday, I met somebody and he was like really upset about ISKCON. That, whenever I go to ISKCON, people are just behind me to please money, take money from me. Of course, he was referring to the hill temple, but we have to be we should do these things, but we should have there has to be like some method, right, which is decent, which is acceptable. We just
Yes,
don't, not that we should just go all out and go crazy over these, but we should figure out some ways by which we create some conversations, and let it be 10 people, let it be 50 people, let it be 5 people. It doesn't matter. The more we are convinced that Prabhupada's books can change the world, the more we will convince others. and we need everybody to talk. All of you are in contact, all of you have your own circles of people, communities, friends, colleagues, etc. You can bring up these in conversations, right? And we somehow shy away from talking about these things, right? If we do, thinking that, oh, what will they think about me, we really don't want to help them out. That's what it is, right? Because giving this is compassion, so we should be compassionate towards them.
Same thing happened, Prabhu, last week actually.
Mm.
Like we were doing a book distribution and we had another team from Hill Temple.
Mm.
So our thought process is like people walk for darshan also in the same way, and then while exit also they come in the same way. So
Mm.
what we do is we try to talk to devotees only after they finish darshan and come back towards footwear stand.
Mm.
So we make that as a mandate because most of the people they'll be in the rush to no, I'll finish darshan and come.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't disturb them. But
Mm.
these people left, right, and center, they're just like jumping and like they're so aggressive that stopping randomly, talking to people, and we could see the kind of what do I say, devotees not being so welcoming about that approach of theirs.
Yeah. Yeah. And this weekend, I mean, going forward, we'll get a little bit more innovative. We will set up some attractive booths. We'll do because I want to focus on book distribution on ongoing basis. So we will think about more ways to attract people to our stalls, make relevant banners, etc., which can attract their attention. So we will work on this, but we should make it. And like I said, it's not just when we go out to do book distribution that we are in this mood. We should be in this mood all the time. We should have few books in our bag all the time, wherever we are, and whomever we find, we should just talk to them and say, are you really happy? Don't you feel that you need a solution? And then you give them something, show them something relevant in the book, and give it to them. Obviously, they will take and they will read. When you pick their interest, right, saying that, oh, okay, yes, this seems like this is going to answer some serious issues for me, and people will read the books. We should not make sentimental sale, right? It's good for you, keep it in your house. They will do, and then the books are as it is, as they are. Nobody touches, nobody opens. But this requires fire, Prabhu. This requires fire. And where will that fire get ignited? When we read Prabhupada's books. So, yeah, I mean, let's try. Let's do our bit. I know that there are so many amazing devotees who are doing so much of book distribution all over. We'll also do a little bit tribute. Books are the. Okay, anything else? Anybody? Otherwise, we are. Okay, thank you all for your thoughts and involvement. So we will at least we are a small group, 20, 20, 20. Okay, we will take these things seriously, and we can talk about these things to others and make others understand the value of these books. So much for joining. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील महांत कोटि। हरे कृष्णा।